Hi, and welcome back to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My name is Lisa Curcio. I'm continuing my series on card layouts, better known as card sketches. And what those do is they provide you with an idea of where the elements go on the front of the card to make it easier for you in the design process. Down below, I also have a link with pictures as well as supplies. Here is the card we're going to be creating together today. Really cute and really simple, great summer card. I've got two other cards using this exact same layout that I'm going to be sharing with you during today's video. If this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, I would love to encourage you to subscribe. Click that small bell icon next to the subscribe button and you'll receive notifications of when I'm live here on YouTube as well as when I upload a new video. Let's head over to the stamp table and let's get started on today's card. Here's a close-up of the card we're going to be creating. Aren't those little sunglasses adorable? Those are part of the pocket framelets. You're going to see there's a die here for the pocket as well as the sunglasses. Let's start by die cutting the elements for this card. This is a piece of rich raspberry cardstock. It measures 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. I'm going to use the detailed trio punch. I'm loving this punch because it's 3 punches in one. There's a corner rounder. This makes the perfect hole for ribbon, and this creates a decorative corner on your cardstock. You're going to find a guide on each of these corners, making it easy for you to insert the paper and make sure that it's aligned. It's best if you use it flat on your work surface, and then once the corner is inside, I'm going to press with the palm of my hand, and that's going to round the corner. And then I'll flip that over and I'll do the other top right corner. I decided to add a little bit of subtle texture to this cardstock, and I'm using the subtle embossing folder. I'll go ahead and place my cardstock inside. I've got my die cutting and embossing machine here. It's from Sizzix. And I'll go ahead and place the embossing folder on top of here. And then I'll place another clear mat over the top and we'll crank that through. It's called subtle for a reason because it's really subtle. But the texture is beautiful and it gives it a small grainy finish so that the cardstock doesn't look so plain. Now while we have the die cutting machine out, let's go ahead and die cut the additional pieces from those framelets. I'm going to add my thin die adapter to my Sizzix die cutting machine. This is from See a Silhouette Designer Series paper. Bold watercolor pigmented patterns that are going to be gorgeous on your cards. I've pulled out the pocket framelit. I'm going to lay that right here on top. And since there's room still here on my platform, I'm going to maximize that. And I'm going to add a piece of black foil. And this time I'm going to add the die for the sunglasses. I want to give you a tip too regarding foil cardstock. If your cutting plates look like mine, which means they're etched from repeated use, sometimes that can transfer to your foils. Take a piece of copy paper and lay it over the foil to protect it. I'm going to add my cutting mat over the top and then I'll crank that through. The pocket die actually has score lines here, so I'm going to crease those back with my fingers. You can go over them with a bone folder if you'd like, but they're pretty predominant. And then what I'm going to do while I have this out is I'm going to use my dimensionals to place those on the edges of that die. Now these dimensionals are already pre-cut for you, but I find that that shape is a little difficult to use on that small edge. And here along the edge, they're not die cut. So what I like to do is I like to cut those and use those strips. So I'll take one of those edges and I'll lay that here right along the crease. And I'm going to fill those in around the outside. I'm removing the paper backing to those dimensionals. I've cut a small piece of Whisper White cardstock and I'm going to be using my black memento ink, and I've chosen the greeting from the stamp set called Daisy Lane. I thought the sentiment that says it's your time to shine works really well with the sunglasses. I'll go ahead and ink that image up and I'll stamp that here. We have all the pieces now ready to put our card together. I did score this right before you joined me. This is 4 1/4 by 11, and I'll go ahead and fold that in half. And I like to use my bone folder for that nice crisp edge on my card. Remember this piece that we corner rounded and embossed? We're going to go ahead and add that here. One of my very favorite accessories in my stamp room is my silicone craft sheet. I love to use this when I'm using liquid glue, hot glue, or adhesives because those will not stick to it. That's going to ensure that I keep my work surface sticky free. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this here near the lower right hand side. I'm going to leave a small margin, about 1/2 inch on the left. I've also cut a piece of Designer Series paper. This is from that exact same series I just shared with you with the pocket. I'm going to add adhesive to the back side of this as well. Then this will get adhered near the bottom. Again, I'm leaving a small margin of color here. Remember the pocket. We're going to go ahead and remove the paper backing on those dimensionals. And then I'm going to crease these to the back. I like to do that to make sure that I don't have any dimensionals showing, because if I do, then I can come through here and give it a little bit of a haircut. Do you see how I have them showing here at the bottom? I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut away that excess. Here on the base of the card, I'm going to start with the bottom of the pocket. I'm going to overlap this just slightly to the right, and I'll tack that in place, and then I'll do each of the sides. That's going to leave us a nice little spot here for us to insert our glasses. Since the elevation between these two is slightly different, I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to add dimensionals on this side. So I've got a couple dimensionals here, and I'll place one here and one here. Again, we'll remove those paper backings. I'm going to bring in my silicone craft sheet and I'm going to add adhesive to the other lens. That's going to ensure as I stick these inside the pocket and the other half on the outside that they're going to rest evenly, and I'll just tack those down in place. The greeting that's here, I'm going to go ahead and flip that over. I've added one dimensional to the right side of this greeting. On this side, I'm going to add adhesive because we have the same issue that we just had with the sunglasses. There is an elevation difference. So I'm going to attach this here so that my greeting is going to be all the way flush to the right side of my card, and then I'll tack that in place. To finish this off, I thought my sunglasses need a little bit of an embellishment. I'm using the frosted and clear epoxy droplets. So beautiful frosted and of course the clear that are here. They have glue dots already on the back. So I'm going to use my take your pick pickup tool. I've got my paper piercing attachment here, and I'll add one here in this corner, and then I'll add another one here in this left corner. And there we go. Our card is finished. A really fun layout, but I've got two other cards to share with you. They're quite different. This one uses the Royal Peacock bundle. Isn't it beautiful? That foil is stunning, isn't it? So I did some stamping and then some die cutting. This one has an embossed base, but you're going to see that the layout is exactly the same. My third card uses the Above the Clouds bundle. So this is a hot air balloon punch, which makes this really easy to use. And this Mosaic Mood Designer Series paper is really fun. You're going to be able to find all of these products in the current Stampin' Up! Catalog. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you would like a complimentary copy, head over to lisasstampstudio.com and click on Contact Me and provide me with your information. I would love to know which of today's cards is your favorite. Leave me a comment below. And if you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.